With new classes come new questions, and I just had a student ask me about. They said, "Dr. Pete, um, you focus a lot on writing and APA and things like that. APA just being a writing style, doesn't matter if you use Chicago, Travian, fill in the blanks." And what I try to express is very clearly basic things. So, for example, if I sit there and post something and there's spelling issues and capitalize a lowercase I and things are misspelled and wrong words and not cited and there's no sources, or you quote something but you don't put the quotation mark, so I don't know if it's yours, or yeah, the list goes on and on and on, right? So all I can do is grade what you write. All I can do is give you feedback on what you do. I can't read into the magic 8 ball and say, did Bob or Lisa get this right? Yes. No. Try again. That doesn't work, right? So what you need to do is think about, okay, how do I express to the teacher what I'm trying to express? So the minute a student comes back and says, well, you can only take off so many points for APA and so many for grammar, that's when I know the student's in trouble, okay? Because they're saying, I'm calculating the fact that I can lose 10 points per, say 10%, for example, on a 100% scale, but I can still get a B or an A because I did such good work that you can only take 10 points off, for example. Or they'll say, oh, well, maybe I failed it at 50%, but that means I still get 5 points and I should have a 95%. I get this argument. When I hear that argument, I know the student's in trouble because they're not working on their writing. They're writing off the fact that they're not good at it. So they avoid it and then they make excuses and they attack everything else. So the reason I emphasize, okay, this is how you organize things. This is the Goldilocks effect. This is how we cite. This is how we write. This is what we want to check. And the reason I do that is because if these things are not clear and I don't understand them, then I can't demonstrate that you've learned the information. I cannot, in good heart or good mind, say, yes, I think this student knows what they're talking about. And by the way, this is how they expressed it. So every now and then I'll have a student test me. They'll go to the dean, and every time I'll tell them, if you can tell me what this student knows, that's fine. I don't know. I don't understand what they're saying. Or I'll tell them, I understand what they're saying. They're just not saying it in a very competent or, if you will, specific way. So, for example, I may say there are three branches of government, and technically that's the right answer. When you say how many branches of government are in the United States government, you say three, that's a right answer. But there are some students that then go one step further, and the three branches are legislative, judicial, and executive. Great. Then some students go even further, and they break down each branch. And then some students go even further, break them down, and add citations. Now, what's the difference between an A and an F? Okay? And we can see that. And that's what, as professors, we're supposed to be looking at. How in depth is a student getting? How are they researching? How are they writing? How are they analyzing things? And it all comes back to writing. Or it all comes back to, for example, I use a lot of videos. If I can watch a student talk about a topic, then I can say, yes, they do know what they're talking about. Or I can say they really don't know what they're talking about, and it's even more apparent, okay? So just because of video use, I love the use of them by students, that doesn't automatically mean they get an A plus and things are better, because I still have to see, do they understand things? How are they communicating from my lips to your ears and vice versa? That's very important. So when looking at this and understanding this, if you tell me, one, I keep getting feedback about APA and writing, that probably means you have a problem with it. Okay, that's the first indicator. That's what we call a clue in the agency. Okay, a hint. You take that and say, maybe I should work on that more with the Perlo writing program. Maybe there's a student writing center on campus, or you can just naturally work on it with the Gram Check with Microsoft. There's a lot of things that can be done to improve writing. If I'm sitting there telling you, look, you need to develop and add more detail, that means sources, that's a good indicator. You probably need to research more and then add it into your writing, which means you're synthesizing or you're analyzing things more. I can only take the clues, okay? So this as an example, one more before I quit. I had students say, well, I referenced all of the sources at the end. And of course, my response was, well, that's fine, but where did you use them? And they said, well, I've never had to do that before. I said, well, how am I supposed to know where this stuff is? Like, and the way you do that is through citation. So when you say, why do you keep talking about APA? Because you have to cite it in APA. And if you cite it correctly, I know exactly what's word for word. I know what the ideas, whose ideas are who, like, did you take them word for word? Did you write them? Then I know for fact. So that's the big help there. And so yes, the only way I can correct that is through APA or through writing or through how you show your work. And that would be an example that this happened recently. And so as a professor, I can grade that in three ways. One, you didn't use the sources and just lied. Two, you just didn't cite them with bad APA. Or three, you plagiarized. Now, why would you want the professor to be thinking about that? You want the professor to say quickly, because we grade lots of these papers, sometimes hundreds of them a week. Okay, it's organized, there's the paragraph, there's a citation, there's some key words, there's no grammar. That's what the professor's looking. Click, 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 click. That's what they're looking for. But if they got to stop and go, wait a second, where's the citations? Well, who's doing what? Then they got to start wondering, do I put it through Turnitin, Safe Assign? Are they cheating, not cheating? Takes up a lot of time. That means it's probably not going to be a good grade. So take all this as advice. If you have a weakness, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Just fix it or work on it. And that doesn't mean, well, I did one assignment and I'm an expert now. That doesn't mean that. It may take years of writing. But by the time you're done with school and you go to that job, you won't embarrass yourself with a bad email or bad report or misspellings. You'll have a higher success rate in that. That's the goal here. Education is the process, not the checklist. There may be checklists in the process, but each of those checklists build up into the overall concept of getting better at skills. Okay, I focus on, obviously you get information, but I focus on writing, analysis, and research. Those are the big things. If there's anything else, love the topic, think it's excellent. I'd be more than happy to work on it. Thank you.